Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you've been well. A lot of people asked to see the second gen Sequoia on the channel more. Maybe I've only done one video on it, but this is the wife's car. This is the family hauler. I've done a few little modifications, but it's mostly stock. It's got slightly bigger tires. It's got a roof rack, but Ashley didn't want me to molest it too much. But it hauls the family. Up top, we're going to talk about that in a bit. This is the Enroad Nomadix Pro roof box. Behind me over here, you see it peeking out. This is the LX570. You guys have seen that on the channel. It is a more purpose-built vehicle. It's got bumpers and racks and boxes and all kinds of storage stuff on it. 37-inch tires. It doesn't drive as nice as a more stockish Sequoia. So a lot of times we're driving this vehicle, and this vehicle can handle, light trails, and it's got four-wheel drive, and it's got, all-terrain tires. So it can go places, but it also is better to go to the zoo. It's better to go to the pumpkin patch. If we're camping with other friends that aren't really into off-roading or whatever, and they're kind of just at an easy-to-get-to spot, and we got the kids in tow, this is the logical choice for that. Whereas the Lexus can get to a lot of cool places. I deleted the third row out of that. What you guys, I think most of you know, it's no secret. They've been in videos and everything. I got a family. I got a pretty big family. There's people with a lot bigger families than me. But I would say by most people's standards, I have a pretty decent sized family. That means I got a 6-month-old. I got a 2-year-old. I got a wife, obviously. And then I got a 14-year-old, and I got a dog, and then I got another dog. So we're a family of 5 plus 2 dogs. That pushes the limits of pretty much everything. And I would say a Sequoia is a pretty big SUV in general. I would say most people consider it a big SUV. There's Suburbans, there's Excursions, there's, Tahoe XL. There's bigger ones out there. And then there's full-size vans. And then there's minivans. It's arguably a little bit more interior. They got a little more room typically behind the third row, but they're probably not as wide on the inside. But minivan on par again, similar size. So let me break it down for you. When you're single, life is easy. You got all the room in the world. You could have a 2-door Jeep Wrangler, all the room in the world. It cracks me up when I see people out there that are just single dudes, and they have like a full-size SUV, and then they tow like an overland trailer with, do whatever you want. I'm not gonna make fun of anyone, but I always think it's funny, just in general, when people need a full-size SUV and then a full-on trailer to go, camping. When you're single, it's easy. You got all the room in the world. Then you add one more person. Say you get a girlfriend or a wife or whatever that is, and then all of a sudden your space is cut in half, and then you have a whole nother person, and you got all of their junk, and then still pretty easy. Then maybe you add a dog into the mix, and then they need their own space as well, especially if they're a pukey dog. And then you start getting, okay, well now we're a little more cramped. And then maybe you add a kid to the mix, right? And now things start getting a little complicated. Anybody that's single and they're complaining about literally anything in life, bro, check yourself into some therapy. But anyway, you had a kid, and then you become even more space constrained because you got their stuff, and you got, especially if they're younger, you got their toys and their diaper bag and all their special things. And then maybe you add another kid on top of that, and you got 2 little kids, and then you got their car seats in there, and then all their crap. And then we got the trifecta, a teenager. They need their stuff too. So anyway, all that to say, when we're going out full family deep, 5 people, 2 dogs, even the Lexus feels a little small. So then we got the Sequoia, and the Sequoia is great when we're just, going somewhere, we're going to a movie or whatever that is. But when you go somewhere and you need to camp, or maybe you're taking a road trip or whatever, then you realize, wow, my big SUV doesn't actually have any room. So let's break it down here. The SUV, the Sequoia, it's pretty big. We got the captain's chair so we can walk through, we can, get to the kids. Isabella can get in and out of the back seat. This is how we usually have it set up. 60-40. We have the 40 up, we have the 60 down, and then we got this storage. So this storage is pretty nice if we're going out, we need a Costco haul or whatever, the dogs are at home, cool. But when we bring the dogs, now all of a sudden, 2 dogs eat up all of the cargo space inside of here. Outside of building platforms or whatever, again, I have like a platform in the Lexus, but it doesn't make sense here because we're hauling friends sometimes. We're using the 3rd row pretty regularly. So when it's down, we got some storage. When it's up, we don't have a ton. We got basically this area back here behind the seat. Sorry, the sun is so bright out here. It's kind of hard to film this. So full family, dogs here, got a little bit of storage here. We're basically relegated to this much storage right here. So what do you do when you got stuff to take? So that's how I was, always researching and always looking for new storage opportunities. This company, Enroad, actually reached out, and this is a prototype unit that they sent out a while back that I've been testing. It's live on Kickstarter right now, and it's got some pretty cool features that puts it kind of ahead of the curve of a lot of other roof boxes out there. But I was kind of curious, we'll get into this. This is the Veer stroller as well. What can you realistically put in here? Now, you're going to want to climb up onto the tire or whatever to get up here. But they say this is the XL Slim. So they have an XL taller one, but this is the Slim, so it has a little bit limited height. So if you need to store stuff in here that's taller than this, then you might want to get I believe it's the XXL, actually XXL Slim. XXL Slim, you might want to get the XXL, but you go to the Kickstarter, they have all the measurements and everything, and they kind of have what cars they fit on. So this takes up the bulk of the roof rack on the Sequoia. I'll show you some details on mounting it because it's a little bit weird to mount. These things are always designed to just go on 2 crossbars, and this is on a full size, full length roof rack. So there is a little gotcha in there, but it mounts up just fine. Anyway, this can hold 6 carry-on size suitcases. So we have here a little bit bigger than carry-on. This is an 80 liter and then a 45 liter duffel. This is a Pelican 1535. So this is the carry-on size Pelican case. This is a 50 liter duffel. Then we got 2 backpacks over there. We got a Nomadix chair, and then there's actually, I only have one of these chairs, but there's enough room for a whole nother Nomadix chair here. So that's like a typical loadout that'll fit in here. So this would be enough storage for us for a road trip, for camping, for whatever. Maybe it's not suitcases, maybe it's sleeping bags and pillows, maybe it's whatever. Now I also have this thing. So it's real nice and low profile. So you'll see I have it off-centered actually. So I have it pushed over to the side basically as far as it'll go. And that's because I still have all of this extra rack space up here that I can throw tents and strap chairs and do all kinds of other stuff on. So I essentially have 1/3 of the rack full length to store more gear if this box isn't enough. But very sleek, very aerodynamic, and it holds a deceptively large amount of stuff. Now for giggles, I'm gonna take everything out of here and throw it in the SUV just so you can kind of see how much size that would take up. Okay, so just to show you what that takes is we're filled up. We're like too high in here. Can it fit in the Sequoia? Yeah, it can fit, but it takes up a lot of room. So that adds up quick. So you throw all that on the roof instead, and then if you have twice this much, then you can still throw it in the back. Anyway, it's kind of almost a necessity for big family road tripping. Now you could throw all these individual bags. It's kind of easy when you have a family and you're just like, everyone pack a duffel. Family of five duffels, we'll say. Maybe a 6 for toys and all that kind of crap. if you try to strap 5 duffel bags to the roof, especially if you got inclement weather or whatever, that's going to be a nightmare. So you throw it on there, unload it when you get to camp, whatever. So anyway, I thought that was rad. I had one of these when I was younger, just to put some ski stuff, really. And I don't know, it was a lot smaller than this, and I didn't have a family, and I never thought of it for use like that. I just thought of it, oh, how am I going to transport these long items when I don't have room in the car? So this can still transport the long items. You want to put skis, you want to put snowboards, you want to put whatever up in there. I actually thought of this. There aren't any golf clubs in here, obviously, but you could fit 2 or 3 golf bags. Maybe if you're pretty good with it, you might be able to stretch like 4 golf bags into here, because it's taking up a little less than half. So maybe you're taking a golf trip with the 4 dudes. Golf clubs notoriously take up a lot of space, and you got that in there. Anyway, that's sweet. I liked it. How often am I going to use it? Probably mostly for trips and stuff. Like, I'm not really going to throw groceries up there or anything like that. So I'll probably take it off and on, and I'll get into some other features. So you got that, and then another option that I'm probably going to get into as well, because maybe I'm going somewhere and we have a lot of gear and have a huge tent or whatever. You know, I want to bring stoves, and, you know, I don't even have like camping bins and camping supplies and stuff in here. Some of that will fit on the rack, but maybe I'll get a hitch carrier as well so I can maximize everything. But hitch carrier, you know, you're still kind of in the way, loading and unloading. You got a big thing right here. They're great. Again, I think I will get into them eventually, but that's for when I run out of roof storage, I go down to the hitch. Just because I was curious, we got the Veer stroller right here. I have it broken down. I'll show you what it looks like up. If you got kids, you probably know about that Veer stroller. That's actually the tactical baby gear edition. So this is the cream of the crop here. This is my big flex, actually. The TBG multicam black Veer stroller. Now this thing, it's not a stroller, the wagon, my bad. I don't know if I've been saying stroller or wagon. The Veer wagon. This thing is sick. It's great. It's great for zoo days. It's great if we were going on a road trip and we're seeing national parks or whatever, we would want to bring that. But it takes up a ton of room. Now it folds, you know, kind of flat, and the wheels remove pretty easily. So this is about as compact as you can get it, but it's still long and it's wide. So I was curious, does that fit up in the Slim? And the answer is easy work. Takes up not even half of the box, closes no problem. Pretty slick. Okay, so for anyone curious about this guy, you can actually fit some of these wheels inside of this compartment, but they just clip on, like they're made to be quick released. If you have the room, obviously, you don't need to quick release them, but they just pop in and out like so. Pretty easy. Handle goes up. These guys flip open. And then you're off to the races, locked here. So, yeah, this is great. It's got seating and seat belts for 2. Little pockets along the inside. And then Molly, I should actually add some little pouches out here to hold more gear, but pretty slick and kind of a necessity. All right, so that's the kind of stuff that I nerd out on, right? Like, ooh, getting that storage dialed in. My wife doesn't have to think about it or care. You want to bring all this stuff? Let's bring all this stuff. So this is, just so you know, this is a prototype box. There's quite a few things that are at least aesthetically different and a little more polished on the production version, but Let me go ahead and show you some of the standout features here. And I got backlighting here, so it's kind of weird. So let me flip this around real quick. Okay, so let's show some features. We know what it can fit inside. This has a removable felt lined bottom to help, keep things from sliding around as much, to deaden the sound a little bit. And if stuff drips or whatever, you can take it out and you can wash it. A lot of stuff, a lot of features actually. So the mounting system, there's 4 of these clamp leg feet. They are super easy to use. So you open it like this, boom, and then you can pull it right off. So this is the mechanism. It grips and it's so fast. I'll show you. You gotta obviously, it's a little harder with this style of roof rack because you gotta see where the crossbar is, but then you just drop it there. Let's see if I can do it one-handed. You tighten it down with those 2 pins and then you close it. So easy as that. You do that 4 times and it's on there. It's not going anywhere. So mounting is super easy. And then let's talk about some other features. So it's got a dual opening lid. So how it's opened right here, you can open it exactly the same way from the other side. I have mine offset to the driver's side, so I'll primarily be accessing it over here. But if you have it, especially on a smaller, shorter vehicle, and you see yourself accessing it from either side, the other side opens exactly the same as this, which is cool. So it hinges either way. Inside, we got a bunch of reinforcement. Again, the production version will look a little different. It's actually a white interior, which is a little nicer. We'll brighten things up in here, and just has a few, it's just nicer. This is a prototype. So then we have this motion sensing light up here. That's powered by batteries, and it also has a light detection. So right now it's super bright out. It's not on. When it's darker out, that'll kick on automatically when you open it up. So that's nice. What we have also is a solar panel on the roof. So I believe this is a 30-watt solar panel on the roof right here. So this is optional. They have it with or without the kind of electronic part of it. So that solar panel actually plugs into this little pretty nifty portable battery that has a camping lantern and USB plugs. And that also powers the rear tail light, which I'll show you here. Has like a modern Porsche style strip light along the rear, which is pretty slick. I don't have it plugged in right now. I'll plug it in real quick and show you. Super bright out here, so it's a little bit hard to see, but this light, it's not tied into anything like your brake light. There's no wires connecting this box to your vehicle. So this is just a light that is on, and it has 3 different brightness settings, low, medium, and high, and that's powered by the battery that is charged from the solar panel on the roof. So it nests in this little cradle in here. You can access it. I'm just standing on the bumper, and easy to access. And this thing's actually pretty nice in and of itself. So this, again, is used to power some things in the box, but it has like a little solar input port. It has USB-C, 2 USB-C outs. You can also charge it with USB-C, regular USB-A out. This is for the little light bar on the box. So the brightness settings for that and the plug. And then this also has its own lantern, like a really nice lantern actually built in, where you can adjust the brightness and the color temperature and some different modes and stuff like that. So anyway, yeah, once you get to camp, you can pull this out as a little battery bank. Has a little tripod thing and a nice little lantern. So that's actually surprisingly a nice little guy. Only comes with the E models with the solar panel and this battery, but cool little addition. And then some other features on the inside has this channel here with these straps. So if you have gear that you don't want to slide around, you can strap them down across. So there's actually 3 straps in here. So a whole strapping system. These are also a lot more low profile than a lot of the other clip options out there. and it locks very securely. So it has a lock in the front. So that will prevent the front from lifting and kind of flopping around, especially at higher speeds. So that's somewhat unique. I don't know that many other, if any, have the lock in the front. They're usually just along the side. And then it's got the 3 locks along the side. The other interesting thing is with the locks themselves. So what we have here is a fingerprint reader. So this, I believe, again, is the only one with a fingerprint lock. So they do have backup keys, obviously, here as well. So you can use keys if you don't like the fingerprint, or carry them as a backup just in case. But we got a fingerprint lock, and you can, you know, obviously add several fingerprints to it. And then this is how you open it. So right now it's showing red because these things aren't closed. Once you close it, even if it's, you know, the lid is closed, you can tell it's not all the way closed yet. Then you click it in, and then now it's closed. And then it's locked automatically. So every time you close it, it's locked. So then you do a fingerprint right here, turns blue, unlocks, lifts open. Super easy, super fast. That is pretty slick. These are adjustable in this track. This track is like a split rubber seal. Feels like it'll seal pretty good. Water could certainly get in from underneath. My setup, I don't envision any water really getting in under there. But these aren't advertised as like waterproof or anything like that. But I think they do a pretty good job of it. So what I was explaining earlier, how it's a little bit weird with this type of rack system, I think you can tell the design of the box kind of curves down in the front. And so that's an aerodynamic element. A lot of rack systems might be angled one way or the other. So it curves down to prevent front lift. I thought that might be an issue installing on a flat rack. So just so you know, if you're in a similar situation, this rack system is an upTOP Overland Kilo. It's a Kilo rack. It has this bent side rail that's very robust and won't be flimsy or anything like that. And then it's mounted to the vehicle on these side rails. What that means is the crossbars can go anywhere. Not all racks are like that. So your mileage may vary, and not all rack systems have adjustable, removable crossbars. So what I did was I kept the crossbar up here in the front. This actually dips down below. I'm trying to think if there's a good way to show it. I don't really know if there is. But this is going an inch or two below the rack system right here. So I had a crossbar here. I removed that crossbar and kept all of the rest in. This may be actually a little easier to see on the other side. So let me close this up. Is it easier to see? I'm not really sure, but I think you can see that it basically dips down. You guys get what I'm saying there. But anyway, attached it there, and then one of the rear crossbars. And then it's just resting on this back crossbar, and it's pushed forward about as far as it'll go, obviously, because I'm dipping into that front crossbar. And then in the rear, just got to make sure, obviously, that you have clearance for your hatch, which I do. So that is the setup. Like I said, they were kind enough to send this out to me to test it out and give them some feedback again. And most of my feedback was actually already fixed in the final production. So again, they sent me a prototype. I gave them some feedback, and I think actually everything that I told them, they said, yeah, that's actually already in the final production. So that was cool, actually. So that's that. It's live on Kickstarter right now. I'm a little late actually with this video. They wanted me to let you guys know earlier, but the Kickstarter, I think, has a few weeks left in it still. There's deals and discounts. You get some free items if you get on the Kickstarter. And then they said these should be shipping and available in June of this year, so a few months from now. But a lot of info on the Kickstarter. As with every Kickstarter, read all the information. They got a lot of stuff on there. There's different tiers, and again, there's different sizes, some with the solar panel, some without. So hope that helps, and I think it's just gonna check a box off specifically for family adventures where we're needing to take a lot more stuff. So let me know. I know you guys like to see the tricked out rigs and whatnot a lot, but something like this is maybe a little more relatable for a lot of you guys, especially a lot of you guys with bigger families, because doing this kind of stuff with big families is actually a pain. Like the Lexus is not nearly as functional in the day-to-day as the Sequoia. So let me know if you want to see me take the family out in this. Whether you want to see it or not, it's going to happen. But let me know what you kind of want to see with that style, that type of adventure. I probably won't wheel this thing too hard. Again, it's Ashley's daily driver, so I don't want to beat it up or break it. But we will take it out. We will do some stuff, and we will do some camping in it for sure, and maybe even some road trips. I don't know. All right, guys. Well, I'll link that down below. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, I'll do my best to answer them. If you have any other tips and you got a big family and you go on trips and you go camping, you got some tips and tricks for me, let me know in the comments down below. All right, guys. Appreciate it. Take it easy.